What is up, friends? Happy days. It is time for some FACEIT League. We are almost done with your final week of regular season. We've started to kind of find out who's gonna take those top spots. I think Master Division for North America has been pretty much decided as far as which teams will be going on into playoffs, but we do still have seeding to decide, and this seeding is going to be extremely important in of its own right, as well as just figuring out the mettle of these teams and where these teams sit. Playoffs start on February 4th, right? I mean, the day we get our huge announcements or whatever, we're going to kick off FACEIT League playoffs for Master Division, really for all divisions. I have got Dreamland taking on YFP here tonight. So not wasting time. Let's get into it. Let's take a look at your standings and kind of see where we're at here. I mean, we're in Thursday of week 8. We're almost done. It's almost decided. We've almost closed the book on regular season and ready to get into my favorite part of every season, and that, of course, is playoffs. Let's take a look at your standings. That is not standings. Good try. Dreamland currently sitting 11-1. As far as I'm concerned, is got your #1 seed right now. It's showing Nightmare on top because they have 2 more games played. But Nightmare, I was like trying to think of a nice way to put it. There was really no nice way to put it. I mean, it's a giant L to Kintsugi. Kintsugi 3-0'd Nightmare just earlier this week. YFP coming in 9-4 have already played a bit of spoiler as they themselves took an enormous dub, that being over your defending champions of Extinction, and Extinction showing us what they truly had by taking a win over Nightmare. Absolutely the biggest win of the year. I mean, you know, with the way Kintsugi looked over Nightmare, maybe we put more stock into this dub, but you know, for the most part, this is your, biggest dub of the year. It's your defending champs. Very recent match, right? This just happened yesterday. So YFE are coming in with head full of steam off the back of this 5-map banger. And seeing if they can take down another top player. Seeing if they can play spoiler to another one of the favorite teams here. I mean, with that, Extinction is now in the plethora of 4 lost teams. You have 15 games in the season, so teams are wrapping up here this week. They have to play the remainder of their 15 matches by Monday. The top 7 are locked in. As far as top 7 here will make playoffs, guaranteed. The only determining factor is what order they will go in, what seeding that they will go in. Dreamland is currently looking to hold on to the #1 seed with this match here tonight. Now, Extinction is your defending champs and are likely to win. They just have 3 more games to play. They have more games to catch up on than anybody else. The only mathematical reason that this isn't your top 8 is if Extinction lose all 3 of their matches in front of them. Not only does Extinction have to lose all 3 of their matches, Artemis have to win out their 2 remaining matches as well. Have to win both of them, including beating Extinction, which would give them the head-to-head and the tiebreaker if both teams finish the season 8-7. That is the only mathematical possibility of your top 8 changing before playoffs. Quick look at YFP's strength of schedule. You've lost to Nightmare, Amplify, Nightmare Cat, and EDM. Amplify is probably the most egregious of those losses, but that's still a playoff team. Like, that's really not saying anything. Your best wins, win over Kintsugi, and then win over Extinction like we talked about. So that win over Extinction is, enormous. Absolutely enormous. It looks like it's a Ramatra ban here out of YFP. So Dreamland being we're your home team. Your Dreamland got first map pick and first hero ban. And then they chose to swap sides, so. All right. Now we're ready. All right, let's get into Paul. Show me some Overwatch.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 1. Capture the objective.
From previous seasons, it is very much a different Extinction squad. This Extinction squad was the team that was just won FACEIT League Master Division in Season 6. They were known as Elements of Harmony at the time, during Season 6. It was not the same Extinction squad from any previous season. What's a hell of an open fight here for YFP as they pull out the Junker Queen Cup with a Bastion. It's just Storm Bridge. They're able to collapse in onto Dreamland. And the 9 and 4 squad grab first cap, win first fight. Another bridge approach. We get a bit of a rotation here. As now you have Dreamland have put their back to the YFP spawn. See where's that teleporter going for Noxious? Trying to go in back, reclaim that mega. See if they can create a Dreamland sandwich out on the mega island. I guess peninsula. You got a bit of a duel between Talisman and Micah. But meanwhile, NenWhy gets a boop on Damari. And we'll get a Dreamland fight, win, and flip. Oh, that's going to be enormous. That is 3 players caught in that flux here to start off this next fight. Great ant matrix, though. Salmon actually creates a great amount of space, denies some follow-up until the very end. You see it come in late, but it does eventually come through. Talisman with 2 killer headshots to 5, both DPS. A very, very late sound barrier thrown into this. Hunter Tane, thank you so much for the raid. You're coming off of that early match. It's YFP time. Yeah, you had the EDM match on versus EU Takeover. How did that go? I know EDM were favorites in that match. Did it go the way we think it was going to? Appreciate the raid. Let me get your shout out. We're gonna watch some Noxious pop while I give Hunter Tane a shout out. Y'all go follow Hunter Tane if you haven't already by now. I know we're on a delay here. That's a Blizzard in from Talisman. I'm seeing a lot of YFP kills in the feed, though. Beautiful orbital out of Rajeem. Doesn't look like Talisman was able to really catch much with the ultimate. And the Junker Queen Bash and Comp are able to win their second fight of the map. Now, and I figure they could really just clog this choke, particularly with a photon barrier coming up. Maybe you able to rotate up towards this ant matrix and can start making life really difficult, making it really difficult for Dreamland to get through this, this narrow choke. You do have this flux. Dion already had a huge flux earlier. Ooh, that rocket caught Mari. Force out the immortality field early. This could be an enormous gravitic flux that comes in. Manly's going to go ahead and drop in the OC. We've already seen the ant matrix in, causing a rotation here. Mari's able to grab a kill. So is Micah. We finally get the photon barrier thrown on this point. I love the patience out of YFP. They didn't overinvest early. They just rotate around the overclock in the window. Now, there were some trades. I think we're still waiting on Mari to get back in this fight. Yeah, Mari did get caught in that rotation. Almost maybe a little too conservative of a play out of YFP as they give over the flip here, but Ant Matrix on this retake. Watch for Dion. You just go right into it with damage. No, they're going to go ahead and try to take out Mari. Take out the anchor. See if you can just win the fight on the point outright. Mari will go down, caught in that disruptor shot. And now it's up to the squishies. They're forced. No chance. No choice. Valiant effort. But Dreamland take round 1. Hey, Warden. I appreciate you being here. I know, I love some Junker Queen too. I love some Junker Queen too. Any knowers? Elephants of Harmony. I like Elephants of Harmony. I think that's good. I think that's good. We will keep it wholesome around here. EDM got the 3-0. PDK is nuts on the rat. That is a sentence I did not think that would come out of my mouth today, I will say. Not something I thought I'd read. Elephant side setup. Speaking of Elephants of Harmony. Just get manually kind of positioned back here. There's the teleporter. Okay, I'm not sure where it went. Maybe it's just a high ground teleport. I thought they might be trying to get aggressive onto Elephant, but YFP end up just kind of sitting back and holding their own space, claiming their own territory. Unfortunately, their territory is a little far off the point and within range of Manually. Manually's able to find an opening pick. This is going to send the remaining 4 players scrambling. And Dion catches Salmon on the way out. Now, Manually's traded, but yeah, Mari's stuck. That's what I was afraid of. I know, Narwhal. The kill feed sucks, man. The kill feed sucks. Bouncy, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. Trust me, it makes my life so... I screw up way more than I used to, but hey, it forces me to lock in more than ever before, I will say. Oh, Dion with the floaty feet. I love the floaty feet. I'm getting more and more I love the floaty feet. There's an aggressive teleport. That's what I was looking for in the first engagement. Mari catches Graveyard in that exchange. You've got an Ant Matrix which just kind of anchored down here. Woo! You escape 17 health. The Judo of Rajeem actually gets in to pick up a kill on top of Manually's 2-piece off of the OC. In spite, I should have said. There you go. There's another one that, in spite of Manually's 2-piece with the OC. Oh, boop. Yeah. NenWhy read that one like a book. Was just waiting for the teleport. Oh, and NenWhy gets 2 early with that. Obviously, we heard the Flux close out that fight. I was afraid. As soon as I saw the teleport, I was like, wait a minute, wasn't that Boom. Done. I'm gonna open up with a photon barrier. Everybody just piling onto this point. You've been able to isolate Dion. Oh, they just barely get the sound barrier there at the last moment. That Matrix now in play. Oh, but Salmon will not live through it. Manly lands a good rail shot and is just able to duck away. Point has flipped here, favoring YFP. Dion swings with rock. See, I always tell myself don't swing with rock. Dion swung with rock. I will say Mari escaped the grasp of Dion, but only to run into Talisman's pulse bomb, while Dion chases down another. Flip at 96%. I don't know that we're gonna get a touch here. Dreamland. Excuse me, wrong region. Dreamland. We'll take Nepal. 1-0 lead to Dreamland. Team out of NA. Granted, running JQ into that, I mean, that is just tough. And Dion, just a very elite Sigma player like that, is able to juggle around the cooldowns, the shout and engage, and, you know, not allowing too many of those knives to land. We only really saw, I think, 1 or 2 of the knives, you know, turn into E-limbs. Dreamland were able to read the quick engages. YFP, of course, trying to use the teleport engage, use the Sebastian there a little bit more once we got into Shrine. Not able to really split Dreamland enough. They were able to isolate Dion once, but it was a fight where they had sound barrier. And NenWhy does a good job of making sure just there at the tail end, you saw Dion got just the very end of that beat. That important fight on Shrine. Of course, the 2K boop we saw as well. We got a side swap as we get ready to head into King's Row here for map 2. Let me get all that set up for you. There's some Preds. I did also add Command Gamba or Command Gambas, singular or plural, to the Command Popcorn. So they're all kind of the same. We want Gamba's command now. Just to update y'all on that from last time. For those who remember from, you know, lore, you know, continuing the storylines of previous streams. YFP. Oh, okay. We're immediately going to put Noxious back in the sim. Take advantage of the teleporter. See if we can kind of outfox our opponent with rotations. We head down in the hotel, looking for the wall maybe to isolate or divide and conquer here. Keep an eye on Dion. Is thinking about moving in from the other side and try to create a sandwich. You can see they're looking to call out the wall. All right, it's gonna be a teleport out. Noxious to the high ground. That's gonna be the wall there. Users trying to protect themselves and try to go get a rundown on the Talisman. Manually able to sit up top. Dion looked like circled in from the house to pick him up as YFP kind of got crunched inside. Manually ends up with a damn good team fight there, picking up 4. Mario picks up Talisman with that. I actually got the knife in before the wall came up. I think the wall had separated, but they were able to break a piece of it, then get the pull. NenWhy separated. And this was the kind of divide and conquer I was talking about. Something YFP were struggling to find there on Shrine. That's exactly what I was talking about. You create mismatches in the middle of the 5v5. You're able to create a 3v1 against Talisman, create a 2v1, 3v1 against NenWhy. You know, isolate them. Some nice divide and conquer textbook. Defense. We'll be coming up on some important ultimates. Really look at them. I mean, the Kitsu with this bunched up composition on both sides is going to be very powerful. Now, I mean, of course, you got to respect the potential double damage Bastion. You can play around the wheels down, cooldown. Wheels are down. Teleporter is in, and that's going to prompt the Kitsu. Noxious does respond with the photon barrier, splitting the rush in half. Blizzard catches Mari. After they find Talisman, it's a sack fly that I think is going to favor the defense. Sacrifice play, that is. Sorry to steal a baseball term. I know, using meat sports terms. Shame on me. I know. Defense holds. Give dog pets. I know. That's one I don't have like a hard and fast command for it. I just do it. Like you say, give dog pets, and Bo gets pets. I need oh, you know what? I know what we'll do. I know what we'll do, Blue Jay. I got you. I need a petting bow emote. That's what I need, is a petting bow emote. Summer's procced here by the OC manually. Teleport him to the high ground. Drop down. You're going to find Talisman and manually with it. I love the drop down out of Micah. Kind of gave manually just enough of a shake and closed the gap very quickly over to overcome that advantage over the Sojourn. Really nice play out of the DPS line there from YFP. You're going to make some progress here on point B. Still got some time left. What, 235 in the bang? Not too shabby. Slow and steady, and if you can get the Bastion position on some high ground, particularly with another one of those Ant Matrix coming up from Salmon, might be able to make it work. Haven't really had a chance to talk about the swap from Talisman over to the Venture. Trying to go help out Manually. It's one of the bonuses of the Venture is to be able to cover that kind of ground, but Manually got isolated. Good job from YFP. It's that separation we talked about on point A. YFP are very good at recognizing which target they need to drop on. There you go. Wheels down, Ant Matrix, and woo, an immediate 2-piece. Going to turn it into 3 as you catch Talisman. Great tracking, and just like that, over half the team falls to the assault configuration. And that was the exact combo I was talking about earlier, and perfectly positioned on the high ground. Micah just guns down everybody. They're from the Dreamland defense. 2 points on the board, 3 minutes to go. Sim barrier, rampage to work. Let's keep an eye on this rampage. I mean, Kitsu, I mean, you're going to play around Suzu. And Kitsu means you're going to get Suzu up very, very quickly. So, all right. An early Kitsu actually kind of bodes well for Mari. That does mostly gets cleansed, but Dion still stays purple. It's going to pop an Annihilation, but as just double the pummeling speed. My goodness, looking like Bruce Lee out there. Just lightning fast fists onto Mari. And then we'll win out the tank trade as far as the ultimates are concerned. I mean, yep, as anticipated, you know, you get those extra cooldowns with the Kitsu. And it's a massive boon against the Rampage Sim combo coming from the other direction. Teleport to the top high ground. Uh-oh! Rajeem gets caught with sound barrier. That one didn't quite work out. I'm guessing that was a NenWhy boop. Looking by the way Rajeem kind of bounced off, like just kind of judging by the angle. I think NenWhy got a boop on a Rajeem, and then we got a railgun shot out of manually. So really nice kind of setup there from NenWhy. Doubt we'll get that teleport again. Okay, we're gonna go right on to the point. Drop it down. Talisman has the tectonic. We're looking for the Bastion. They do have some shielding from the barrier, so even 3 tectonic shocks isn't enough to really phase Micah. You have to play around the sand matrix, and YFP are happy to just steal the card away. Manually OC. Talisman jumps to the high ground. Manually has got snuck around behind the camera. Oh, came out of spot. Excuse me. Oh, catches Salmon with the violet jump. Noxious eats one through the dome. Oh, bored through the brain, and now only 3 players left. So Lucio Bastion trying to see if they can turn this around the final quarter of point C. Mari's shout's been used, and they're just going to have to back away. Noxious has returned. Oh, manually puts another chunky shot down. You saw Salmon is thinking twice, turning the corner. Kitsu now in play. This could be a good split. Mari goes down. Dion will find Micah, and I mean, it was a perfect Kitsu. Salmon was on the left side the entire time. Salmon was on the opposite side, so you didn't, you know, couldn't get lamp into that, couldn't get any sustain into the 3 players that were trying to disengage through that tiny corridor. Really nicely read out of Dreamland. This is gonna be a brute force attack into an annihilation. Finding nothing for YFP, but they get into point C. Hey, I've seen plenty of attacks on King's Row. Find far less.
Score 0-2. Switching sides. Initiating match. Ready for battle.
I knew somebody was gonna come through there. I was expecting it to be the BAP, to be honest. A full low ground hold. Once again, YFP have been doing this all match, right? A lot of times you see, especially in today's Overwatch, you see a lot of 3-2 splits, 4-1 splits, right? I think this King's Row defense is a pretty obvious example. We most obviously, you know, more often than not, is what I meant to say. You see a hit scan, perhaps a flex support go to the high ground. Not this time, you're right. It's just 5 bunched up. And immediately tried to ambush in. It was a beautiful boop out of NenWhy that sent everybody flying out of the gate and kind of scattered YFP for their blitzkrieg attempt. Micah will not escape that vortex, and that's going to be point A. Micah does at least spawn in the subway tunnel. So, an opportunity here to ooh, okay. I thought somebody was going to try to touch. That would have been ambitious. But there is an opportunity here to try to, yeah, create a bit of a close hold. They got lots of time. They got everybody here. They're going to jump right onto the point. Micah has swapped over to a Sojourn, by the way. No more Bastion on the battlefield. NenWhy is separated from Dion, meaning Dion can't just... Well, I was going to say can't really just run forward back, but Dion just goes to the cart. It's just going to go anchor on the objective. Let NenWhy continue to go dive in. Graveyard and NenWhy both move towards the spawn. That actually gets... make sure they can get Talisman out of spawn. Manually kind of playing from the other side, and you end up creating a nice crossfire here over the objective. Then just thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. Oh, and a stagger out of Micah to boot. That's just mean. How rude. No more sim. So we'll see if the strategy stays the same here for YFP. Talisman playing split manually with an OC. Yep, man. Wall used defensively here, and YFP are trying to bunker up. Wouldn't surprise me if Dion just tries to go run in and corner them all. Especially with an advantage the sound barrier NenWhy giving them. It's give me a Kitsune rush and that beat to get him inside. Salmon will get battered down. The Ant Matrix tried to fend everybody off, but it was just no match for the overwhelming force. Dion didn't even have to push the annihilation. Dreamland will waltz into the foundry. I think you needed to kind of back up and either slingshot with the Ant Matrix or back up and catch them with it. You know, back up, survive, and try to retake with it after the Kitsu, or try to catch them back in the mega hallway on your side where, you know, they didn't have the value of the Kitsu anymore. Now you're trying to just dive into your own cart, retake desperately here with a Kitsu, I mean, with your own overclock. You force out both Tectonic Shock and now the Annihilation. With that done, Noxious has a Blizzard to throw in. Beautiful wall. You're able to catch Dion. Dion will go down. NenWhy still trying to hold high ground, but looks like Dreamland are running out of reinforcements here. YFP are going to keep things interesting. The first of many holds required if they want to tie up this series. Mario's going to drop in from above with the Nemesis. Oh, was hoping to catch manually with that, just could not. And now your speed is gone. Really good play from Dion to know the sweet spot, to know where that Achilles lies. Hits the pressure point. It takes, oh my goodness. Mar gets run down with the Kitsu. Perfectly played out of Dreamland. They hit the pressure points and then push the defense over. Reminded me of like a Jackie Chan movie. Dreamland move up to match point. All right, so YFP are going to swap sides. They're like, you know what? Maybe we need to be in blue. Maybe that's the kicker. You know, our logo's blue. We need to be in blue. Let's shake it up. So there you go. YFP are choosing to swap sides. And choosing Runasapi, which, I mean, far less important, right? It's nothing. It's all about the sides. But you are going to another ground and pound. You've seen 2 tanks banned out here. Let's see. I mean, Mari's able to go back into the Zarya and head into Runasapi with this. They are going to ban out the mate as well. So a good opportunity here for YFP. They are able to craft this map 3. I mean, this is as I think as good an opportunity that they're going to get here in the series. Oh, no, they're on the left side. They're on the left side. Weird for people who chose first ban to be on the left. Never happens that way. Let's go look at some stats there from really first 2 maps. I didn't really get any stats from map 1. They went so fast. Dion went 22 and 2. They're in map 1 with 13.9k damage. I mean, God, just miles above anybody on the other side. Map 2, it's pretty similar. Manually also putting in just an enormous amount of look at these numbers, y'all. 39 and 4 for Dion, 38 and 5 for manually. Both sitting, you know, 15k, just a little over 15k, a little under 15k, just enormous damage. Micah was right there. Micah really holding close. But Dreamland are looking powerful right now. Dreamland are looking like they are hungry for OWCS. They want to get into playoffs. They want that #1 seed. They want the best possible seeding they can get going into playoffs. They want the easiest route to getting one of those qualifiers into phase 2 of OWCS. You can just see it. They look like a well-oiled machine right now. But YFP, once again, have been able to craft this map 3 the best of their liking. It's gonna be a Junker Queen ban this time from Dreamland. Obviously targeting Mari once again, another one of our favorite heroes. Let's see if this is the one that puts the nail in the coffin of YFP tonight. YFP have already secured a spot in playoffs, as we kind of talked about at the top of the series. They are 9 and 4. 9 wins is enough here this season to secure a spot, so they're not at risk of getting knocked out. What they're at risk of is, you know, you don't want to be bottom seed. You don't want to have to face Dreamland or Nightmare in the first round. Only top 6 finishers out of playoffs here in Master Division will be guaranteed a spot in Masters for Season 8. Otherwise, you got to fight through qualifiers, right? So you don't want to get O2'd out of playoffs, because otherwise you got to fight through qualifiers to get into Season 8, and that's more likely with the lower seed that you have coming out of regular season. So that's kind of where YFP finds themselves here on this map 3. Jeremy in and out. There you go. All right. So we did get Jeremy subbing in for Micah here in this 3rd map. Both teams playing the Vendetta. We're actually seeing the meta variation of this composition with the Zarya Vendetta with the Soj. But despite YFP kind of bringing the more traditional look, it's Talisman and Dreamland that are finding more value here. I mean, it's been a hell of an opener. Not a single death here for Dreamland so far. Playing in a Sigma variation of the Blender. So they have the double flex DPS that I usually associate with the Blender, but they're not running the, you know, front-loaded DPS heavy Zarya. Playing a lot more cooldown centric and rotation focused Sigma, which Mari is now going to match. And so then somebody was talking about with me was playing more hands rotation, less shield rotation. Oh. Manually is sitting behind an ant matrix right now after throwing in the artillery strike. Mari ends up down. Jeremy finds first pick here for YFP in the map. Make it 2. And NenWhy drops the gap in as Jeremy takes down Talisman. Jeremy's gonna save this team fight. Jeremy absolutely saving the team fight, potentially saving the map here for YFP, because you know, he starts getting past the archway, and the attackers actually gain the advantage. They can start pinning into your own spawn. So that was getting dangerously close. Winning more fights means Dreamland. We're coming up on more ultimates, right? But that turned around Jeremy, obviously the exception to that. Now, we see manually already used their ultimate as well as Graveyard, so keep that in mind. We'll say the Flux is strong with Dion right now. Kitsune rush out of Salmon, try to move forward. Vendetta with double swipe speed, turning up the ampage here on the blender. Wheels are down. Songs are ringing out through Runasapi. This is the green shielding fades. Noxious drops an OC, tries to slingshot back in. His YFP's turn to go. They got Lamp out. Talisman looking to hold him off here, but Noxious has already found Graveyard. Now Mari moves in with a beautiful Flux. Catches 3 with that, or at least 2 with that. We'll find manually at the end. Beautifully played. YFP with a fundamentally sound fight. Really playing the back and forth extremely well through the ult exchange. Mari able to catch up and answer with an enormous Flux there at the end of the fight, despite Dion having a huge advantage in that regard going into that fight. Now, oh, actually, I mean, this is pretty good for YFP. Manually does find Salmon, so looking less good now. If they were able to sneak the bot around the corner, that would have been worthwhile, and you might have been able to sneak this checkpoint away. But alas, that will not be the case. Oh, Gambas. I'll give you just a very quick Gambas here. Since you're already 3 minutes in, I'll give you a very, very quick Gambas if anybody wants to try to get the value bet on YFP. I don't know. We'll see how they're looking after what team fight you see them at, you know? Wheels down. Manually swings. Oh, that's a light swing. All right, now we're pushing. Dion used a long range rock. Like, that was just a yeet of a rock. And Mari's trying to punish. One of the things, again, I've kind of been working on my Sigma play. One of the things I've been really trying to focus on myself is how vulnerable you are when you don't have your creation. And so Dion kind of put themselves on the back foot at the start of this fight. And it will be a Kitsune rush to finish the fight in the name of YFP. Marlin, a huge rock at the start of that. Talisman's got Sundering Blade into the fight and catches Mari hiding in the corner. An important fight where YFP had an opportunity to get the checkpoint. They really opened themselves up for a nice comeback in the final 3 minutes, but that Talisman ultimate, you're able to shut down Mari. If you don't catch Mari there, if you don't rate it, then like that's a very different team fight. Mari gets a Flux into that, right? But great corner check. Hard. You gotta get it pretty early in the morning to sneak one past Dreamland, that's for sure. The solo Flux on the Dion can't be bad at that. Oh, the falling out of the sky, the meteor of an creation. To not let Talisman escape, that was cool. YFP here in old disadvantage, and I think they know it. You can kind of see how conservative they are playing. Oh, that Flux doesn't quite protect the pickup there on Namari. But, you know what? Beautiful ultimate out of Jeremy, and you're able to catch Dion. Keep Mario alive through it. Good defense is a good offense, something like that. This fight is broken, but you're able to get checkpointed for YFP. Mari's still alive here. We'll sneak out a little bit more meterage. You don't have a whole lot of speed, and you don't want to get staggered at the end. So this is kind of a delicate disengage. We'll see how long Mari wants to stick around. Jeremy's back. There's the speed. They're going to try to catch. Ooh, this Sigma uses hands. They're able to get out and get a nice amount of shielding. Manuel's going to drop an artillery strike. Keep an eye on jump pad. Jeremy gets through, but it's a 2-for-1 trade, costing Jeremy and Rajeem to find that pick on to Dion. Mari's going to invest is in the last one playing. Talisman catches Noxious and salmon, I guess, just right as you hit Q. So, I mean, it was the 3v3 as the Q was pressed, but unfortunately, you just lose 2 immediately. Pablo the dog, I appreciate the follow. All right, we're swinging with sword. Noxious with the overclock response, beaten from both sides, trying to catch Dreamland over there in the corner, but a beautiful ant matrix. Graveyard sneaks in behind everybody. NenWhy's got to find salmon. And Graveyard ends up the last one alive, despite their heroic efforts. Rajeem, you know, gets a little dance in. I saw that. I saw that, Rajeem. Caught in 4K. Uh-huh. Kitsu ready to go here. The salmon just makes it back. Dion and Dreamland try to get aggressive. They've been known to do. But despite that, they're able to get out. It does cost them lamp as they're backing away. Do they have anything to push back in with? Talisman's going to fall. Oh, again, or no. And really, realistically, one more team fight will give YFP another map to play with here in the series. Mari's the first to throw in the Flux. The rock miss, dropping in. A decent amount of shielding. Oh, and the artillery strike layered in with Dion's is the extra oomph needed. Manually rotates the corner, ends up with a beautiful 3-piece to close out the series. Dreamland will 3-0 here tonight. That's the one I was looking for, Blue Jay. See, we get by with a little help from our friends. What can I say? Okay, Dreamland with a swift 3-0 here tonight. Honestly, it was pretty close. YFP were genuinely within, we'll say realistically, you know, 1.5 fights. You know, you'd have to maybe get a good cleanup, make sure that it couldn't stall, or maybe if you're able to deny an early touch, you might have been able to get it done in 1. But, I mean, YFP were darn close to taking that fight. I'm going to give player of the match here to Dion today. I mean, you kind of saw just, you know, obviously it's never in a vacuum. I mean, it's all just, I mean, the Flux difference is kind of what comes to mind. That last Flux is what I'm thinking of, where you had the artillery strike layered in, right? Just a little bit of extra teamwork, a little bit of extra planning, forethought to couple with the ultimates and how to use them. But Monkey Happy was just an enormous powerhouse all day long. Always is in the server. Manually had an exceptional series too. It's very tempting to give it to Manually as well. NenWhy always a beast. I mean, NenWhy is going to have, you know, some of the fewest deaths in line, but also had, you know, a lot of damage, a lot of, you know, 26 elims on Nepal. I mean, crazy stuff for a Lucio. So obviously it's Overwatch is such a team game, and it can be a little contradictory, you know, to give a player the match. But you know, we like to do it. We like to do it. And Dion will be your MVP here tonight. GG's all around.